Welcome to yet another edition of the Stats and Stacks podcast, where today we're going over the final week of the regular season, baby, week 18. We've been doing fairly well in the NFL the last few weeks, so we're just looking to continue the trend. So it's going to be a lot of tricky games this week, a lot of people sitting, a lot of people only playing half of the game. There's just a lot of stuff going on, so we're just trying to figure out what's going on, who's doing what. Just a reminder, give the video a like, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, make sure to subscribe over on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. We're everywhere. We're taking over, baby. But again, it's a tricky week to get through and to bet on. So not a lot of fantasy advice this week because most leagues are over as they should be. So we're just going to hop right in and focus into Buffalo Bills football, just betting and making sure we can put a little bit more money in our pockets before the season's over. So let's go ahead and we'll jump right into week 18 here. So don't forget, there are some Saturday games this week. There's actually two, so don't sleep on any games this week. First game, we have the Chiefs going up against the Broncos. We have the Broncos sitting as dogs, of course. They're going against the Chiefs. Chiefs 11.5-point favorites, over under set at 45. The Chiefs are potentially still chasing the 1 seed, but it's very, very unlikely that they get it. So at that juncture, I don't know. I think they're going to try to boat roast. They're going to try to boat race the Broncos and then kind of sit all their starters the second half is my assumption. Broncos kind of struggling, especially if it was still Teddy Bridgewater, I'd consider them covering, but the Chiefs defense, where you beat the Chiefs by destroying their defense, and the Broncos simply can't do that. And if you're going to turn the ball over to the Chiefs and let their offense do their thing, then you're in a little bit of trouble. So I will take the Chiefs to cover here just because Drew Lock will probably throw a pick six this game, and that'll be the difference maker. The over-under set at 45.5. I'll probably take the over. The Broncos have a pretty good defense. It's very underrated. But that being said, I think there's going to be a lot of defensive touchdowns, as well as the Chiefs just doing what they normally do. So with it being 45, I'll take the over there. And then the next game on Saturday, we had the Cowboys going against the Eagles. Remember, all of these games are in division, so things get really tricky here. The last time these two played, the Cowboys absolutely crushed the Eagles, and I kind of anticipate them doing the same again. When it comes to the spread, -5, the Cowboys don't have a lot to play for, but neither do the Eagles. In all honesty, I think we're going to see backups versus backups in the second half, which I do trust Gardner Minshew a lot more than I trust who is the Cowboys backup, Cooper Rush, or I do trust Gardner Minshew a little more, but I think the Cowboys are going to have a little bit of a lead. It's not a whole touchdown. It's just 5, and that's what's pulling me their way. So we'll take the Cowboys to cover 43. I'll probably end up taking the over. They're capable offenses that hit over. Yeah, I'll actually take the over 43 here as well. I usually like taking unders in division matchups, but some of these you just have to trust the high-powered offenses. These are not going to be high-powered offenses. The Bengals versus the Browns. Browns -6-point favorites, just solely on the fact that the Bengals are sitting Joe Burrow. They're sitting Joe Mixon, or Joe Mixon has COVID. They're likely going to sit like T. Higgins, Boyd. Chase will play a little to try to get that record. I think he needs like 45 yards or so to be officially the most yards by a rookie. Super Bowl and non-Super Bowl era. So they'll probably try to get him that in the first quarter and then sit him. So it comes down to, can the Browns beat the Bengals backups? And I don't know. Brendan Allen has experience. I know as a Bills fan, I kind of want to stay at that 4 spot. It is a little biased, me choosing the Bengals here, but the Browns have been a dumpster fire. I understand everyone's excited for Case Keenum instead of a hurt Baker, but it's one of these moments where I just see a big letdown happen. Everyone expects to win and to be better with Case. They still don't have a receiving core. Kareem Hunt's probably not going to play. You have Nick Chubb, but all they have to do is stop the run. No one's scared of the Browns pass offense, literally. And I know Case Keenum's not the worst. He's probably one of the best backups in the league, in all honesty. But and the Bengals do have a little bit of a COVID issue going on their defense as well as in the running back room. But hey, it is what it is. I'll actually still take the Bengals to cover here. I think their backups have enough firepower to at least cover the spread. Over under set at 38, very appropriate. I'll probably end up taking the under. I think this is a very, very low scoring affair. And it's not going to be an exciting one. So everyone's just gearing up for the playoffs in Cincinnati and Cleveland. Everyone's gearing up for next year, as they always say. In the next game, we have the Jordan Love-led Packers going up against the Detroit Lions. The Packers will not play any starters this week. They're going to sit Aaron Jones. They're going to sit Devontae. They're going to sit Rodgers with his broken toe. I mean, they have the one seed locked up. They literally have nothing to play for. Packers -3.5. I need to take a look and see who's sitting. In all honesty, I need to see on their defensive side because I could see DeAndre Swift and I could see St. Brown crushing the Packers if they have all their backups in on the defensive side of the ball as well. I just need to see who's playing. Packers being favored by more than a field goal with their backup sitting everyone. I'm interested. Dan Campbell, the Lions come to play in division matchups. They come to play on Thanksgiving. They come to play when big things happen. This is the last game of the year. It seems like a big game for the Lions. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and pull the upset. So the pick is actually going to be the Lions, contingent on who the Packers start. Over under set at 44.5. Give me another under here. It's not going to be a high scoring affair by any means. So give me the Lions, give me the under. All right. Then the next game is probably one where we will actually finally see some offense here. We have the Bears going up against the Vikings. Vikings at -5.5. A lot of people are choosing the Bears here. I will side with the Vikings and the points. It's not a full touchdown, and I like that. I mean, both team out of playoff contention, not a lot to play for. However, it is in division, it's pride, and there's a lot of just, I don't know. The Bears secondary is very, very hurt right now. And Justin Jefferson could destroy, even if Cook doesn't like play a full allotment of snaps. Madison is he's just a superb backup. Kirk Cousins should be back. Justin Fields will probably be back, and I never know if that's a good or a bad thing. He's such a wild card this year. So I actually like the over 44.5 quite a bit. That's probably one of my favorite overs of the week. I would pick the Vikings, but I feel a lot more confident in the over 44. Then the next game, we have the Washington football team going up against the New York Giants. New York Giants have been the worst team in the NFL since Danny Dimes has been sat. And all of his receivers died. So give me Washington -7, whatever the spread is for two teams, the Giants and team we'll talk about next in Jacksonville. Give me whatever the spread is against them. I'll take. They're not going to cover it because those teams I've tried to bet on the Jags. I've tried to bet on the Giants. You can't. You the big numbers don't matter. They can't cover it. They can't do anything. They're just putrid. They're dumpster fires. 38. It's a super low number, and I'd probably still take the under. Washington's kind of reeling too. Jarrett Patterson's trying to see a lot of action here. Taylor Heineke, I know he has to play a majority of the game for incentives, and do not forget about incentives this week if you're doing any sort of FanDuel or anything like that. You have AJ Green, you have Stephon Diggs, you have Gronk, you have all these people that have a chance to make more money if they get a certain amount of catches, a certain amount of yards, or it's setting records like Jonathan Taylor trying to get 2,000 yards, things like that. For FanDuel, make sure you're paying attention. But in a betting perspective, I'll take Washington and I'll take the under. And then the aforementioned Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Indianapolis Colts. As well as with FanDuel paying attention to incentives, make sure you pay attention to playoffs as well. The Colts need to win this game, so they will not be sitting starters. So the -14.5 does not scare me because Jacksonville is that bad of a team. I will take the Colts all day, every day. They will be a lock. Over under set at 44. I think the Colts can do that themselves. So if Trevor Lawrence helps with the pick six or some random bomb to Laquan Treadwell, cool. So be it. I'll take the over 44 and give me the Colts to cover. Next game, we had the Steelers going up against the Ravens. I know Deontay Johnson has just been ruled out due to COVID. I was leaning Steelers as live dogs here. Big Ben's finale. I don't know who is in at QB for the Ravens. Technically, both teams are still in playoff contention somehow. So they're not going to necessarily sit starters. It's a long shot for either team to make it. Ooh, I don't know who the quarterback is. -5. I think 5 is too much. I'll take the Steelers to cover here. That's a team they've already beaten this year. Give me the Steelers. Then when it comes to the over-under set at 41.5, I'll probably take the over there as well. The Ravens they're so hurt, man. They've been so depleted all year. The Steelers love to pass. They have a great running back in Najee Harris. On the Ravens side, whether it's Huntley, whether it's Lamar, they love to run the ball. The Steelers can't stop the run. So you have a pass-happy team going against someone that can't stop the pass. You have a run-happy team going against someone who can't stop the run. Give me the over and give me just the live dog in the Steelers. I'm going to get plus money on a 50-50 50-50 matchup here. Then the next game, we had the Texans going up against the Titans, and the Titans are -10. They are 10-point favorites against a team that beat them earlier in the year, and I agree with the line. The Titans have something to play for, which is the number 1 seed. No team in the NFL needs a bye more than the Titans. Derrick Henry is practicing. He's not human. Somehow he is back on the field, but having an extra week of rest for his foot is crucial for them, so they will be playing for the win here. A.J. Brown's probably going to lose his mind. Deontay Foreman revenge game against the Texans. Texans have a sneaky good defense in the pass rush. They can get to you, so they will frustrate Tannehill. They already have this year. But I don't believe he had A.J. Brown when they played the first time. Even so, their run game is still good even without Derrick Henry, and they should be able to just control the clock. They are not going to sleep on the Texans. They know it's a must win here, so they will get the job done. So give me the Titans -10, over under set at 43. I guess the under, but I don't have a strong lean either way there. And then we're going to hit our our afternoon slate. We have the New Orleans Saints going up against the Atlanta Falcons. We have the Saints as -3.5 point favorites against a team that beat them earlier in the year. I don't know if the Falcons do it again. I don't like the 3.5. That does concern me, that half point. I think it could be a field goal game, but gun to my head, I'll take the Saints here. Over under set at 40, I'll take the under. I think it's going to be a very low scoring affair. I know the Falcons can't stop the pass, but the Saints can't pass. The Falcons love to run. The Saints are great at stopping it. It's going to be a low scoring affair. Kyle Pitts doesn't need he needs like 85 yards or something like that to set a rookie record for tight end. So they'll probably go for it. So that's something to think about in FanDuel. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to end up passing against the Saints. So I kind of want to take the Falcons here, but with their run defense, and if they can stop Cordell Patterson, I don't think Kyle Pitts is going to win you a game. Russell Gage and Ozekias or whatever his name is, they're sure as hell not going to do it. So give me the Saints. Give me some Taysom Hill running, and they are also fighting for playoff contention. The Falcons are not. So give me the team that needs to win to make the playoffs. Give me the Saints. Next thing, we have the Bills versus Jets. Jets are out of the playoff race. They have been since like week 2. The Bills, not a lot of no one knows what's going on in the AFC with the movement. There's no one you'd rather face. No one knows who's going to end up where. The Bills don't need this game. However, I think the backups are good enough to win. The Bills do want to win the division for home field advantage. And at that juncture, they will play the starters for at least a half. And I think that's all they need to beat the Jets. This is eerily reminiscent of last year when they played the Dolphins. They didn't need a win. The backups came in and crushed it. And I feel as if we have the best backup in the league. If it's not Case Keenum, I will give Case Keenum his credit. Mitch Trubisky is probably the second best backup quarterback, if not the best. And I think Mitch Trubisky is good enough to beat the New York Football Jets. Our backup running backs and Matt Breida and Zach Moss, good enough to beat the New York Jets. Our receivers and Isaiah Hodgins, Gabe Davis, good enough to beat the Jets. So give me the Bills, and I think they start off hot. And they end up covering the minus 16. Over 41 and a half, over under. Take the over. I think the Jets will make it interesting. It might be a high scoring affair. So give me the Bills, give me the over. Then we have the San Francisco 49ers going up against the LA Rams. We have the Rams as minus 4.5 point favorites. The Rams are just playing for position. The 49ers are playing for the playoffs. 4.5. It probably will be Trey Lance. This is a tough one. This is probably the toughest one to call all week. I will take the Rams at home minus 4.5. Over under set at 44.5. I'll take the over. Talk about incentives. Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford going for that record. I know Cooper Kupp said he doesn't care about the receptions or the yardage, but he only needs 136 yards and 10 receptions, and he can do that. Or is it 15 receptions? It's 10 or 15. So either or. Matt Stafford's going to force feed him, and that secondary in San Fran is god awful. They are just depleted. So between Cooper Kupp and Van Jefferson and Odell Beckham, they can't stop him. They just can't. And they can try to keep up with Devo, but he's probably going to get shadowed by Ramsey all game because that's all you have to worry about there. Elijah Mitchell's pretty decent, but the Rams are okay against the run. So give me the Rams to cover, and I will take the over. I think the 49ers are going to score. They're going to play for their playoff lives. But the Rams pass offense is going to be too much to overcome, and it's going to force a shootout to where I think the over hits. Next game, we have the Patriots going up against the Miami Dolphins. Patriots minus 6 favorites, and I don't think that's enough. Patriots, like the Bills, are playing for the division. Over under set at 40. I will take the under. I think this is going to be a close game. I know the Dolphins beat New England in New England, like week 1 this year. I don't think it happens again. I think the Dolphins took advantage of Mac Jones' very first game as an NFL player. Mac Jones started off terribly. His first 3 or 4 games, he was god awful. And then he started to pick it up to an extent. I think he's overrated. I think people were buying way too much into Mac Jones. I don't think he's good at all, but he's not as bad as what the Dolphins played week 1. Tua, not the greatest. Their run game, I mean, Duke Johnson's probably their best running back at the current moment. They're a mess right now. I don't know what's going on. You have Jalen Waddle's been doing very well, but you have J.C. Jackson on the other side, a Pro Bowl corner. Is going to be able to at least contain them. So at that juncture, give me the Patriots who are playing for the division. Dolphins eliminated from playoff contention. So give me the team with inspiration. Give me the under 40, though. And then the next game, we had the Seahawks going up against the Cardinals. The Cardinals are minus 6.5 favorites, and I think this line is off. The Cardinals are another team that are I think they're technically still going for the division, but yeah, they are. But I think the Seahawks stop them here. I think it's probably going to be Russ's last game in Seattle. Last game with the Seahawks. Cardinals, I know they had the big win against Dallas, but I think they're just too depleted right now. They need D-Hop badly. They need James Conner, and I don't know if James Conner's playing. He keeps saying that he's going to play, and then he goes to test it out during the game, and he can't do it in consecutive weeks. So I don't know if they're going to be able to go again. Kyler is great, but I don't think he can overcome the Seahawks, and their defense is very banged up right now. their secondary is rough, and Seattle has DK and Lockett. They're going to eat them alive. So give me the Seahawks to cover. 6.5 is way too much. I might actually take the money line. So the pick is going to be the Seahawks. Bet 48. Give me the over. I think it's going to be a shootout. There's very few shootouts this week, and I think this has potential to be one of them. Next game, we had the Panthers going up against the Bucks. We had the Bucks as -8 favorites, over under set at 41.5. The Bucks have a lot of incentives here. Mike Evans needs like 56 yards to reach 1,000 for like 8 straight seasons. Gronk needs 85 yards to hit an incentive. He needs 3 touchdowns to hit another incentive. I don't know if he'll get both of those, but he can definitely hit the 85 yards. Tom Brady needs a certain QBR to get paid a little extra. The Bucks want to pass to get those incentives. They don't have to worry about the AB incentive anymore. So all they have to worry about are those 2 and Brady. So I think it's going to be a pass-happy offense, at least for the first half. If they're close to getting those incentives, they'll probably keep them in. If they're not, they'll probably yank them. And the Panthers are another team that have progressively gotten worse after the CMC injury, after the Sam Darnold injury. No quarterback, no running back, no chance of winning. So the Panthers defense was initially pretty good to start the year, but that offense just has them always on the field. So give me the Bucks. Fantasy does seem like a lot, but yeah, I'll take the Bucks here. I'm over under set at 41.5. I'll actually take the over. I think the Bucks are going to air it out, trying to hit all of those incentives and accidentally score a ton. So give me the Bucks, give me the over. And then that takes us to the last game of the 2021-2022 National Football League regular season. We have the Los Angeles Chargers going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. And this is for a spot in the playoffs. Can't write it any better. Loser goes home. Winner probably sees Kansas City as the 2 seed round 1. And it's in division, either or. Kansas City probably would prefer that the Raiders win this game because they just destroy them. Chargers, they beat in the last second. It was a game-winning drive, and then they lost in week 1. So we know who the Chiefs are rooting for. But I think the world is rooting for the Chargers, hence them being -3 favorites, over under set at 49.5. I really do like the over here. Again, I love unders in division, but this particular game, I will like the over. The Chargers, they handled the Raiders pretty handily earlier in the season, but my gut is just screaming Raiders. Raiders love winning these type of games. The Raiders have gone through so much adversity this year between Gruden, between Ruggs, between just so much stuff happening to them. They deserve a break. Give me the Raiders as dogs here as a way to finish the 2021 regular season. And so that's it. It's been one hell of a ride. The playoffs, we will continue to make podcasts for the playoffs. We will be rooting for the Bills hard, but otherwise, make sure you look at incentives. Make sure you give the video a like. Make sure you give it a follow over on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, over on TikTok. Everywhere you can put it out. Sats and Stacks is out. We're growing, and we're just going to keep growing our bank flow as well, baby. Let's get it.